guys, so I have about 3 pounds of goat that I already washed and cleaned. I'm gonna start with my dry seasonings. So salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of all-purpose seasoning, and I'm just gonna add a few pimento seeds, not too much, probably like about 4 or so. So that is all of my dry spices. I'm also going to add some green seasoning. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to my fresh ingredients. I've got about half of a large onion chopped up, 2 cloves of garlic chopped up, scallion chopped up, and then I also got some peppers. These are some chili peppers, and some thyme. And last but not least, of course, is the curry powder. Okay, this is what's gonna make the whole dish. This is my favorite one. It's by Irie Food Products, and it's a nice dark yellow. So I'm gonna add a generous amount of this. And this is another brand. It's called Cool Runnings. And I'm gonna add a little bit of this too. I just kind of like to layer a couple different curry powders. Usually it gives it a little bit more depth of flavor. I'm gonna put on some gloves, massage this, and put it in the fridge overnight. You wanna marinate it for a minimum 4 hours, but I like to do it overnight. And that's how it looks after I massaged it in for a couple minutes. So I'm just gonna cover this with some saran wrap and pop it into the fridge overnight, and I'll be back tomorrow. Here we are the next day. This has been marinating for well over 12 hours and smells amazing. So we've got our Dutch pot on the stove, and we've got some oil heating in the pan on medium. We're gonna go ahead and add our goat meat into the pot. I'm gonna go ahead and cover that and just let it cook down for about 5 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna turn on our kettle because we'll be adding some hot water. This has been cooking down for about 5 minutes. You can see it's released all these nice juices. So we're gonna give that a really good stir. Trying my best to do it one-handed. See all that liquid, and that's before we even added anything. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add our hot water. I would say about 2 cups, give or take. We're gonna give that another stir. We're gonna add the rest of the seasonings from the basin it was sitting in. Okay, so we're gonna cover that again. We're going to put it on low. And we're gonna let that cook for about, let's go for an hour. It has been an hour, so we're gonna check on this. Okay, that's looking good. So at this point, you just wanna stir it up and check to see if you need to add some more water or not. I'm gonna add a little bit more water, not too much. Okay, so I'm going to cover this down. And we're gonna let that go for another hour. In the meantime, we're gonna peel, wash, and cut up 2 potatoes. This is gonna be added to the stew to thicken up the gravy. And it's just regular yellow Irish potatoes. All right, it has been 2 hours that this has been cooking down. You can see some random pieces of bone floating around, so you know at this point it's tender and falling off the bone. But if you're not sure, you can just use a fork to test it out. And so at this point, you can just taste a bit of the liquid, see if you need to add any more salt. So I'm gonna do that. Well, it tastes pretty good to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my potatoes. And I'm gonna stir that up. This is gonna thicken the gravy up. You can't really have a curry stew without potatoes in it. just add something. Okay, so last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a couple sprigs of fresh thyme and 1 Scotch bonnet pepper. Just push it down, but don't burst it. And then, my friends, cover that up and we'll let it go for another half hour.